we have pegged specific units as, okay, this is another great Ohio State unit, or this is much improved from last year. Are there any specific players that you can point to say, this kid's been in the program for 2 or 3 years, but man, he's just a different guy this year?
There's actually a few. Just two in the cornerback room alone, with Damon Arnett, who's now in his third year as a starter, but is finally playing like a first-round talent or All-American status. Jeff Okudah gets all of the attention. I think Damon Arnett has played the best of any of those corners. But then you also have Shaun Wade, who is a redshirt sophomore, who was the number 2 corner in the 2017 class behind Jeff Okudah, and is now the third corner starting for the Buckeyes. I think he maybe played more than anybody else on Saturday's game as that slot corner. And I asked both Ryan Day and Greg Madison about his importance this week, because he plays that slot, and Ryan Day said that offenses like to throw to that slot guy because it's an easier throw than the throws outside. So you need somebody that can defend those quick slot guys. And you've got Shaun Wade at like 6'2", 195 pounds doing it. But then you also saw Shaun Wade in that game blowing up 2 different screen passes. One way out wide while he was getting blocked by an offensive lineman who was split out wide specifically to keep Shaun Wade from making that play. And then another one he blew up later in the game and held up the play long enough for his teammates to get there and tackle everybody. And he's really, really solid. And he's a guy who has maybe 2 or 3 starts, before this season. And now they're talking, you got people wondering if he's going to turn pro after this year as a redshirt sophomore. And now you're talking about losing all 3 of your cornerbacks in 1 year. And he's a unique guy because he allows them to play a unique defense. I mean, how many defenses do you see out there with 1 starting safety and 3 starting cornerbacks?
I'll pick up the theme that Tony had. Baron Browning is a guy that kind of came out of nowhere, that had been in the shadows the last couple of years, injured and everything. And now that he's healthy, he's playing great football. Beyond that, if I think about, he mentioned Wade, which was a good one. Defensive line, that's gone about pretty much how you'd think it might. Tommy Togiai and Haskell Garrett are getting a few more reps at defensive tackle probably than you would have thought. Josh Myers is a guy at center who's done just a bang-up job, who didn't play much, redshirted and then didn't play much at all last year. So those are 3 or 4 guys right there that have kind of come out of nowhere. Of course, Teague redshirted last year, and now he's the redshirt freshman sensation right now. He's up over 400 yards, and I was asked I put a story up about the running game on bucknuts.com, and I was asked as a reply to that, can he get to 1,000 yards? Because Dobbins is almost there. He'll be there with one more of these 150-yard games. He's there. But Teague, mid-400s, and what would it be, 6, 7, 8? Well, anywhere from 7 to 9 games remaining, he's got a legitimate chance to get to 1,000 himself. So if they take it that far, and certainly they're going to have their share of blowouts. If you think about Maryland, Rutgers, and Northwestern, on paper, those games should be decided in the midway through the first half. And theoretically, Teague, they'll rest Dobbins and get him out of harm's way. Teague could get 15 or 20 carries in each of those games, go over 100 yards in maybe 2 of those 3 games. Maybe Maryland gives them a little better game, but Rutgers and Northwestern right now are scraping the bottom of the barrel in the Power 5 conferences.